Hey all, Glenn Kirschner here. Please enjoy this video on the Political Voices Network.
But you know, speaking of, there's no bigger MAGA zealot than Sidney Powell, and that's why I love this headline from Rolling Stone. Exclusive, Team Trump was totally caught off guard by Sidney Powell's plea deal. They never dreamed the MAGA zealot would flip on them.
And remember that she was in the Oval Office during some of those most important meetings when Donald Trump was trying to accomplish what? He was trying to criminally misuse the military to seize voting machines from battleground states. That would have been massively illegal. And he wanted to appoint who? Sidney Powell to be the special counsel to oversee this massive criminal operation. How much directly and sharply incriminating evidence can Sidney Powell bring to the table about and against Donald Trump? Hold on tight. Because that is actually one of the most important plea deals that prosecutors could have struck with Sidney Powell. Mark Meadows will be a big one. Rudy Giuliani, I wouldn't put him on the stand and urge a jury to believe him. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole as a cooperating witness.
Shoe polish on you.
But boy, Sidney, Mark Meadows, I believe, is cooperating too.
Wow.
Yeah. Hold on tight. It's coming.
Now, you prosecuted a lot of cases. Sidney Powell's main witness, the headless woman that gets her information from the wind, is that physically, problematic in a courtroom, how to get testimony, or how does that work?
Yeah, so let me tell you, the challenge with putting a Sidney Powell on the stand and urging a jury to believe her, we all saw her on air over and over spewing out these insane, absurd conspiracy theories. So she will be cross-examined, rightly so, by defense attorneys with, were you lying then about all these conspiracy theories, or are you lying now to this jury? She will be able to plausibly respond, I was lying then because I was trying to help Donald Trump criminally stay in power. So you can turn those lies into powerfully incriminating evidence about Donald Trump. But it will be a challenge to clean her up and present her in a way that you're comfortable urging a jury to believe her.
Yeah. Now, I'm just thinking of physical things because I'm a concrete problem solver, Glenn. I'm just saying the lack of a head. I think as long as they have a hand, so they can put their hand on the Bible to swear.
Oh, she can write things down.
Yeah, she would still be even headless. Okay. Anyway, Jody, my point is that I feel like God, send us a sign. Just send us any sort of sign if justice is coming. Lance tweets, God doesn't like ugly. Ex-Florida GOP lawmaker who sponsored the so-called Don't Say Gay bill has been sentenced to prison for COVID fund fraud. So, it feels like an avalanche of karma coming and justice, doesn't it, Glenn?
It's coming. I've been saying it for a long time. It's taken too dang long. Yeah. But, I would not say justice matters if it didn't matter. Yeah. People are like, how can you say that? Well, listen, I think everybody agrees it matters. It's just a question of whether we're moving in the right direction. But I'm telling you, accountability for these people is coming.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Just give me a sign. Just any kind of sign.
Okay. Dark Brandon in the house. Glenn Kirschner, noted alpha liberal, in the studio with us. Very, very exciting. For the week Sidney Powell flips, it is a thing of. I feel like God created this panel it's made of angel wings, don't you think, Chris?
Sure,
it's made of I don't know, and other unicorn farts. My point, Glenn.
It's made of that thing that you posed behind, up by the observatory.
Correct. Yes, correct. Okay. Most normal people say the president just hit all the right notes last night. I mean, so glad he is in office. You were talking about deprogramming Trump's cult. Someone named Bridget from MAGA, this is regarding MAGA, tweeted, imagine this, President Trump, not Joe Biden, gets on Air Force One and flies to Israel. He would have walked directly into Gaza just like he did in North Korea and freed every single hostage himself. I guarantee it. Oh my God. Oh my God, he wouldn't have gotten anywhere near an active war zone. He would have had a full diaper even at the thought of it. It's just, and first of all, he did a photo op with Kim Jong-un for which we got absolutely nothing, and then praised him. as you said, as he does to every thug and terrorist and dictator in the world, right?
Yeah, he's a coward. He's a coward. And all of this highlights that this man can get nowhere near the Oval Office again. I don't know what to make of polls that show, that Trump and Biden are neck and neck and this and that. I don't happen to buy into that. Look at the last election. I cannot conceive of Donald Trump attracting a single new voter, given what he's been doing over the last couple of years. But I can see people peeling off from Donald
Absolutely.
Trump. They may not be vocal about it, but and it takes us back to the MAGA cult. And I don't, I don't call people maggots, and I have always maintained that
that's my job.
It is.
Look, in America, it's not us and them. It's just all us, different kinds of us. I think the people who are compromised by the MAGA cult need help. I really think they need help. And when people need help, Steph, we don't just abandon them. We don't give up on them. We don't walk away from them. We find ways to help them even when they can't or are unwilling to help themselves. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, I think, that's, Glenn, we've said this forever, and this will take psychologists 11 billion years to figure out, but I think it is people's, very strong desire not to be wrong. They don't want to admit they were wrong, or, we were, so like when somebody finally divorces the horrible person they've been with, and you're like, oh, thank God, and then, but you're right, you help them. If it's a loved one, you help them. You don't go, that was a stupid choice, why'd you do that? You try and,
Let me tell you, as a career prosecutor, do you know how many times I saw the cycle of violence, domestic violence, start with low-level assaults and culminate in a murder, right, where the abuser ends up. What do you try to do with somebody who's stuck in that circumstance? You try to help them, even if you don't understand why they're making the decisions they make. The cult is no different. And I think we have to try to find ways to help them, even if they don't want our help.
Well, let's start with this guy. Here's Jordan Klepper from The Daily Show.
Never surrender to the tyranny.
What is Trump doing here on this shirt?
This is his mugshot.
Gotcha. So that was taken when he surrendered to authorities to have his picture taken.
Huh? It says never surrender, but
Is that on the back? Is the butt? Let me see the back. Let me see the back.
I think
Butt,
it's just Trump.
It's just Trump. So where's the butt part? That's implied?
Literally, he's selling shirts that say never surrender, which is a picture of him surrendering. Okay, I don't know what to... All right. Karen in Chicago, you're on with Glenn. Squee. Hi, Karen.
Good morning. And Glenn, you had me at gag order.
He had me in prison.
And we all can attest to the fact that none of us slept well during the Trump occupation of the White House. But I have to say, for anybody out there that doesn't know this, Glenn and his very large, oversized gavel is the best sleep aid. So
that's true.
Listen to it at night right before you go to bed, and you're going to sleep like a baby.
He does have sultry tones in addition to his enormous gavel. You are correct, Karen.
And just the stories, the bedtime stories of accountability are just so soothing and calming.
Right there.
Exactly.
Okay.
So,
right.
I mean, really, you've been telling us, Glenn.
I would only allow this degree of discussion of the penal system on a Sexy Liberal Week, Karen.
It!
Otherwise, you must behave yourself when Glenn Kirschner is here.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Go ahead,
I am sorry. My apologies. No, but really, it is. You've been telling us, Glenn, forever that justice is coming, justice matters, and now it's so gratifying to see that it indeed is happening and accountability is happening. As I want to say, though, as far as the MAGA cult, there's a model for that. Any cult, whether it's, the extreme right-wing, religious right, there's deprogramming that definitely needs to be done. But what do you think, in light of the fact that this MAGA cult has a propensity for violence? We saw it play out January 6th. We've seen it play out with threats to, Fani Willis and all the different prosecutors and the judge that had her son murdered in cold blood by one of them. What point do our institutions identify them as a terror organization?
Yeah, it's a great question, and if we put labels on them like terror organization, I don't think that necessarily forwards the ball in any concrete way, even if it makes us feel good in the moment. But here's the good news. Whoop, hello, Bonnie. Here's the Bonnie. Is that Bonnie or Clyde pulling on my headphones?
The bagels have arrived.
So,
We're all very excited. Go ahead, Glenn.
So here's the thing that I think we should take heart regarding. January 6th was lightning in a bottle. And it was because Donald Trump had convinced people that they had a dog in the fight personally because their vote had been stolen, their election had been rigged, and their favorite president was being unlawfully taken from them. But what have we not seen? We have not seen that lightning recaptured. Donald Trump's first indictment and his first arraignment up in New York, he said, come to New York for my arraignment, we'll be wild. And you know what? Very few people showed up and there was no violence. His next arraignment in Florida, hey, come on, I'm getting arraigned, and hey guys, where nobody showed.
Yeah.
DC,
Yeah.
he's big. Georgia, he's big, and nobody is there to take up for him. We should be encouraged by that trend because his popularity, even among his base, is waning. And I do think we should be concerned about pockets of violence once Donald Trump is in prison, convicted and in prison for his crimes. But at their core, I think Donald Trump's supporters are weak people. If they weren't weak people, they would have not gotten sucked in by the Trump cult. So they are not going to organize. They're not going to take up arms. There may be pockets of violence, and that will be unfortunate, but that cannot deter us from doing what we know needs to be done.
Yeah. Right. I think you've said that once. I have Glenn quotes like I count them like sheep when I can't sleep.
They're like birdies flying around your head.
They're birdies of justice flying about my head. But I think you said we can't. I don't know how exactly you said it better than I will. But that we can't decline to do the right thing because of fear of what the wrong people are going to do.
You just quoted me perfectly, Steph.
Wow.
You said to throw up my leg right there. I'm just saying.
Really?
Okay. There it is, my first drink of the day, Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic. Many of you know my story. I stopped drinking wine for 3 years during COVID, during the lockdown as part of a health reset. Now I drink wine in moderation, but this is an amazing new product. I've always believed in probiotics. And Z-Biotics, check this out. You drink just one of these. It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. I am using this and I feel great in the morning. I don't have to worry if I have an extra glass of wine, I still feel great in the morning. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. I've always had acid reflux problems. It is this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Z-Biotics produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. All I know is it works. It is Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic. Go to zbiotics.com/politicalvoices or scan the QR code on the screen right now.